This is CNN, the Convolution News Network. Of course, we'll take a quick peek at Kim Iversen. She's already been exposed for reading off of a monitor. What should have been the scoop of a lifetime is being buried. I am the most persecuted thinker since Tesla. My shite is more underrated than playoff Rondo. Kim's a mess. That's not even an opinion. And another thing, why is every single person I got into, I can list them, but why are they all tweaking out? Why are they all seemingly, apparently drug addicts? Kim Iversen is clearly linked to the racket scam. It's corporate, it's predictable, there are patterns all over the place. One needn't be an Aspie savant to put this thing together for themselves and to not just take the speaker's words for it. Yeah, the Jamal Thomas is the same guy. They even have matching pair stairs. Jamal Thomas has multiple LinkedIns. He's following the exact pattern of Ebon Kim, who also had a fancy degrees and job, yet somehow was being a kook. Unlike Ebon, Jamal Thomas has become a success at that sort of thing. Although he topped out at around 30,000 subscribers for YouTube, he's on Sputnik all the time with I think that's Stranahan's son. Now, Stranahan is a verified COINTELPRO agent. I exposed him way back in the day. None of those pro-Assange people are legit. Any of them who hang around together, from Cassandra Fairbanks to the Slow News Day people, the new iteration, they're all fake. It's a honeypot. If social media participation is down, it's because of all this sort of junk stuff, negative junk stuff. I linked it all together, but no one's discussing it anywhere. No one's leaving me comments saying, oh yeah, I know all about that. I knew about Daily Kos versus Fuji Camp and whatever back then, the My Left Wing. There were offshoots. There was always some sort of controlled opposition to replace the controlled opposition. I ended up branching off on my own, and I blogged with that guy Donkey Till for a number of years. There's also a guy from Wales. We were on the left. We were pure left, lefty lefts. Some of us, like myself, can bring in the conspiracy side, which was building up throughout the society and on internet. And the other guy from Wales, he was the debunker, but he was still lefty like me. And we shared a lot of common interests. We had some really good success. I forget on what, but with the South America type stuff or the Central America stuff. One of my entries ended up getting plugged by one of the more, like a big fish in a small pond for that sort of left-wing online journalism stuff back in the day, but I forget about it. I was like perseverating on, I forget that kid, Narco News. That guy turned out to be a paid fake. He was a form of Cenk Uygur, but for being out of the country and reporting on like Colombia, he turned out to be a total fake. They don't mind if we out individual fakes. That's what I've learned throughout my career as an unpaid cyber sleuth, a troll buster. I busted up state-sponsored trolls. I exposed them. Jamal Thomas was from the old days with Ebon. Tim Black was around. What they're gonna try to do is rewrite history. If they can keep the gang together, they will. If they have to fake separate them here and there, they'll do that too. I never fell for Jimmy Dore. He was always with Cenk Uygur. I knew that. Before I got banned at Twitter, I was trolling Jimmy Dore. I wanted to know why he spit in Alex Jones' face or why he thought that was a good move. I asked him, what about Cenk being a genocide denier for the Armenian genocide, Holocaust? I forget what they're called there. So I was always ahead of the curve, but what I noticed was I was no longer on a forum. There was no one else. It became total isolation for myself as an internet addict. I would have been able to post a lot of this stuff, and it would get responses. when I post it here on YouTube, some of the responses are okay. I mean, I appreciate some of them, but a lot of them are just really bizarre. But I don't want to deter anyone from leaving posts, especially if they're on target, if they're right on what we're talking about here. If someone can't notice that they're reading off of a teleprompter, well, that's not my fault. What's going on within Glory's eyeglasses for anyone debunking? What about that thing on Kim Iversen that I came up with? Let me take a quick look at what we have for videos today and the screenshots. I've got screenshots and video. I also seem to have plenty of time for speaking. Okay, we got Jamal. This is Jamal from when he showed up, which was like 2017. He's in with that Ebon stuff. I'll try to find screenshots to, you know how I try to put these together. I mail it in, but sometimes I'm able to line up screenshots with what I'm saying. And I'll try to do that. It's all about the patterns. And the patterns are finite. They don't go on forever. And it's not rocket science. I only talk up my social theory degree because it's impressive. Let's face it, that's a good one that I did there. Especially considering I have what they refer to as autism. So I did that. We got Iversen. We already probably went through that because I already pointed out how she's freaking out there. Drugged up, it appears. Then I also took a little bit, we'll take a little bit from Rob Weber's new video on him getting arrested for the Hunter Biden art gallery in New York. He must have had a friend or someone taking video from outside the door, so he sort of spliced together his own. And I'll just share a little bit. I'm not into taking anyone's. I try to be fair use. They can always take the ad money off of my videos. I'm not on here to make money. And I just wanted to share it because I think it's interesting. I think the Rob Webers and the Barrett Browns are interesting. I know what's going on in terms of internet meta. So anyone else into this, feel free to leave. Well thought out, or I'm not trying to bust your chops and give you a D-, but I mean, there'd be nothing better than to get some interesting commentary back going again. That might be eventually where the powers that be are going to be forced to allow us to again express ourselves as much as we want. They know we're not doing any weird illegal stuff. We're just voicing opinions. Sometimes most of us we're gonna get a little bit heated, but overall we're definitely nonviolent, and we see through scams, and we're breathing, and we're looking at life as mysterious. So there's a little Rob Weber. It's pretty weird. I must have some sort of memory system going on. So the more one repeats things, call it practicing, the better the performance. For instance, I've been telling myself, or I was, to be more careful throwing around the ums and the ands and the that's. I think a well put together grammar show, which also included humor, maybe some sort of variety show, tricks, that could be a modest Brand, a Russell Brand. Is that his name, Brand? That says it all about Russell Brand. If his last name is actually B-R-A-N-D. Probably out of time now. Gotta go through the pictures. This is unpaid. I'm gonna go to the Jamal. I like to chicken peck into the, maybe chicken pecking typewriter music could go viral. Jamal. See how I made that last letter? Hopefully you heard how I made the last letter dance. How I kind of made the typing dance a little bit. I'm even trying to incorporate that into my voice a little bit. Give it a little lilt. Okay, Jamal. I don't want to overwhelm people with reruns, but what are you going to do? Alright, these look pretty good, so this should be fun. I like screenshots. They're copyright friendly for the most part, apparently. Okay. Going to the Jamal files. There's Jacob Peterson on the right and the left. His body movements under surveillance film looked very similar to Umbrella Man. who's in the middle there. He somewhat looks more like Mitchell Carlson right there, but I don't think it could still, it's tough to tell. That my eyesight's just not, I mean, I'm not looking at a stamp with a magnifying glass. I can only, I mean, that might be him in the middle. I don't, to me, it's inconclusive. I could see how it isn't him. Well, I mean, look at Poinkinen, the way Poinkinen uses cosmetics, and he seems to cover up some type of head injury. So when you see him in the daylight and at a rally, you can see that he was injured. Like, I think he fell off a ladder or something. But when he's in the studio, it's covered. He's wearing a hat. So I don't know. I mean the first, if that's Peterson on the left and Peterson on the right, even there they look different. Jenna Beck looks completely different from some of her photos. She's actually trying to fill in more on how she was terrorizing the local kids. I'm joking a little bit. She didn't really. It was kind of an annoying thing back and forth. It looked really idiotic. I think I'm missing a lot of information. But who knows? It looks like both sides were being morons. The Trump side and the Jenna Beck, Hillary Clinton side, whatever she was up to. I have a dark suspicion, or I'm suspecting that Jenna Beck is a Blue Dog Democrat or COINTELPRO. That's it with her. I'm done with her. It looked really idiotic. And I don't see her having that many contacts, and I don't see anyone tweeting to Jeff Campbell to out Convo Couch for Glory, the teleprompter thing, and also the Echo Park stuff I came up with. Maybe even that Poinkinen stuff concerning the nation. And I don't care anymore if I go over the 15 minutes. I know that's what's going to happen. These aren't even we're not even at the Jamal yet, so this was filed under Jacobson or Rogan. I don't know what the hell's going on, but. So, yeah, here's my. What? I'm 1 to 22? Sometimes I vote my stuff up to be, like, democratic about it. You know, you're allowed to vote for yourself. I had that sort of logic. There's Annie Jacobson. It was the most incredible video I ever produced. I don't know when I took that screenshot, but it was at 791 views then. I think it's in the couple thousands. I think I'm starting to get a couple videos in the 1,000 or 2,000. The Krishnamurti on cocaine one went mini viral. Speakers, I forget what this is, but there's Chelsea and Bill. Jake Tapper, yeah, it was probably going after Jake. Yeah, Jake Tapper, Zach Haller, the guy eating the donut. I remember the Twitter days. Oh, that's the Jake Paul when they moved in. That was a pretty good video I made. Alright, here's the Jamal stuff. So he's got this fancy job. That's definitely him. He was a lot younger back then. Sometimes you can see that he looks very similar for smile. What Jamal Thomas is doing is he's squinting his eyes to look at a teleprompter. He thinks he's being clever that way. So I got that video that I'm sharing with this today is showing how when he was young, when he was first becoming a more noticeable YouTuber back around 2017, he was getting promoted by the Evan Kim network, the H.A. Goodman, that thing, the Tim Black. Come on, I'm not making any of this up, and you guys know it. So there's Jamal with the fancy job, always wearing a Superman shirt. I hope he has quite a number of those, because, oh, look, I never noticed he's got broad shoulders. Maybe, unless the aspect ratio's off there, he looks like he's from the military somehow. Even though I didn't notice that on his resume. But these people hide crap. He's been all over the place. Oh, Sputnik put up a most outrageous resume for him. So look at that. Those photographs look familiar. Doesn't H.A. Goodman line them up like that? That's actually an Aspie thing. I'm into that too. I like to line stuff up a certain way. I have to admit that. It's quite copacetic. You know where yes, I'm like that too. I admit it. I have Asperger's.